Welcome back, YouTube. This is a week in the life in Dubai as an AI developer and an online entrepreneur. I'll show you what the city is like and some of the lessons that I learned along the way, so let's get into it. Now, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who subscribed to the channel. Over the past few months, this page has absolutely blown up, so it shows you're loving the content. Now, if you're seeing this video and you're not yet subscribed, go ahead and click that button, because aside from showing you the lifestyle, I'll show you exactly what you can do to get here. And go ahead and follow me on Instagram as well for updates just like this. So the plane just landed and I headed over to my Airbnb near the Dubai Marina. I was staying with Emil, who I actually met back in Bangkok, which is where I live year round. And the view from the 22nd floor was absolutely beautiful. If you look to your left, you could see the city skyline, and if you look to the right, you can see the Persian Gulf. Now, if I had to describe Dubai with a single phrase, it would be on point. Everything was just on point and professional. From delivery to the staff at different locations, everything seemed to be a well-oiled machine. And when I was here, I really began to understand why so many high net worth individuals decide to make this place their home. Because imagine this, if your time is worth several thousands of dollars per hour, you don't want to waste time with a society around you that's inefficient. You would want to live in a society that's on point and where things happen on time. For myself, I found that as a very interesting perspective and something that I wouldn't have had if I didn't make the trip. So then I headed upstairs to get in a quick pump before the big day tomorrow. Fortunately enough, I was still jet lagged, so when I put my head down on the pillow, I went out cold immediately. As the sun came up the next day, I got ready for a day packed full of events. We started it off by heading over to the Agenda, which is a pretty popular gym. We did some boxing training and a workout, and it was absolutely brutal. By the end of it, my arms were completely shot, but it was good because I really pushed myself. And when you're surrounded by other people going through that same training, it turns the pain into a shared experience. So, after that absolutely brutal workout, I headed back home, recorded a few videos, and then it was time to eat our dessert. And when I say dessert, I of course mean the yacht party. So, I headed downstairs and we boarded the boat. It was a great time and honestly a good opportunity to meet like-minded people. One of the biggest fallacies that I see people make is this belief that networking has to be formal all of the time. That the only way to network is to put on a suit and tie and go to a business event where you talk to somebody who you have no real interest in talking to. I truly think that couldn't be farther from the truth. Some of the best contacts that I've made have been in these informal settings, like on a boat, out at night, or even just during the day if you're going out working in a coffee shop. I can probably only count a handful of very valuable contacts that I've met at a formal business event that I attended. And what was good about this event is that the hosts actually organized a Telegram group chat for everyone who was going to come. So before I arrived, I'd already looked at everyone's profile and their bio to get an idea of what they did, what kind of person they were. So whenever we met, I could reference something that they put on there. And I think this really has two benefits. The first is that it shows that you actually put effort into the interaction, that it's not just one of convenience, but it's one of intention. And the second reason is that you skip a lot of small talk and clarification as to, hey, what do? You can compliment them on something that they do. And I think most people have interesting stories. If you can find the clues that they put out to the world about those stories, then it just helps the conversation flow so much more naturally. Another thing I noticed while I was on this boat was that there were so many people in the AI space, but in different capacities. Some of them had content agencies where they used AI influencers to create UGC for things like brand deals and affiliate deals. Some other people I met were building AI marketing software. They were in a similar space to myself. And some people sold AI consulting, or they sold information products where the user would use AI to self-analyze and learn things using the prompts that they had outlined. And this is the trend that most businesses are headed towards. We all know that there's a lot of hype around AI, but I think you can understand it sort of like a bell curve, where on the left, we have businesses before AI, and then in the middle, you have this massive adoption once ChatGPT gets released, and every business wants to put AI at the end of their name. And then on the right side, it goes back down. And this is the period where businesses have already integrated AI. It becomes the new normal. It's like the internet. Nobody thinks about having an internet business. They just think about having a business, and most likely, they will use the internet in some capacity. And we're in the perfect time to capitalize on this trend. You can not only learn this tech to make money, but your work will have an impact on the way that people develop products using this tech. And you can literally do your part to make history. Now, I have videos on my channel where I go into how to actually use this technology, and this is from somebody with a technical background. I began making content since I saw so many people who were not technical adopt these tools, but they were missing key pieces of information that could only be acquired by having a technical background. And I knew that would be the purpose of my content, to show people what is possible and to give them the tools and, more importantly, the fundamental knowledge of how it works to make those dreams a reality. And once you have this skill set, you can go down the route of building automations, building a SaaS product, which is software as a subscription, or being a consultant. There's so many ways that you can monetize your AI skill set. So after the yacht party, we headed over to dinner, and I think in this situation, it was a bit easier to talk to people. The music wasn't blasting as loud, and we were talking to the same people consistently. And look, I've been to a lot of entrepreneur dinners, some useful, some that were not that useful, but one thing I've observed among all of these dinners is that there is a fundamental difference between the way that successful business owners communicate and the way that the general population talks. When you are sat at these tables, you will be part of conversations where people are talking about where the world is going. They're looking at trends, they're looking at history, and it is through this lens that they make decisions in their business. Their mental model is not built on a foundation of headlines, YouTube videos, and TikToks, because those three things are only distribution mechanisms to reach the people at the bottom. But it's safe to say that anyone who can watch this far in the video has a strong enough attention span to sit down, study, and see where the world is headed based on the trends in history. I believe that's the key, that's the delta that you have as an entrepreneur. And so throughout the rest of the week, I was pretty locked in, building, working, just on my laptop at the Airbnb, occasionally going out to restaurants and coffee shops. But at the end of the week, we had one final event, which was the fight night. This is where millionaires would punch each other in the face in the middle of this massive arena. And I was actually there to watch Jack Hopkins fight. There was a massive lineup with almost 30 fights in the ring that night. And while the fights themselves were interesting, what I found more interesting was everything going on outside. We're from all sorts of industries, networks, and communities. There were different pockets where everyone from a specific community had shown up to watch one of their guys perform in the ring. So during that night and at the after party, I got to meet some interesting people who I don't think I would have otherwise ran into just by chance. And it really showed me that there are levels to the game. There were people in the room worth easily tens or hundreds of millions of dollars. And I think it's good to expand your horizon and what you believe is possible from time to time, which I hope this video helped do for you as well. If it did, leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.